Hello and welcome to an introduction to logical reasoning, where we will be discussing what the logical reasoning section of a law entrance exam will cover, the kind of questions that can come, the topics that are covered under this section, and how to prepare for the same. So let's start. First of all, the logic section of any law entrance examination paper, if you review it once, you will observe that broadly there are two categories of questions that mainly you can spot. First is that called analytical reasoning, and the second is that called critical reasoning. So what exactly is analytical or critical reasoning? Let's find out. Analytical reasoning, or AR, basically entails questions that are mostly objective in nature, first of all, which means that there is only one correct answer and either it is correct or it is completely wrong. There is no in between, there is no gray area, much similar to, say for example, a maths problem. Now the second aspect of these analytical reasoning questions are that they require lateral thinking. What does that mean? That basically means that they require problem solving capabilities, the idea of how to identify patterns between things. That's what this section basically requires. And finally, the best part about analytical reasoning is that since it requires, it contains questions which are sort of like puzzles and all, so there can be many ways to reach the same answer. There's no one set method. You can be creative and find your own unique way to reach the correct answer. So that's the analytical reasoning questions section. Now, an example of an analytical reasoning question, I think, will help understand better. So let's look at this question from the topic of blood relations. It says, pointing to a photograph, a boy Suresh said, "He is the son of the only son of my mother. How is Suresh related to the boy?" And there are 4 answer options given. Now, when we read the sentence initially, it may seem a little confusing to us, but the way to solve this in analytical reasoning is that we break down this sentence into smaller parts and solve them accordingly. For more complex questions of blood relations, we can also draw family charts to be clearer. So let's look at the solution. The correct answer is that the boy in the photograph is Suresh's son, and therefore Suresh is the father of that boy. So the rationale behind finding this out is, let's look at the sentence. He, or the boy in the photograph, is the son of the only son of my mother. Here, since Suresh is stating the sentence, my means Suresh's mother, and the only son of Suresh's mother is Suresh. So we have solved the last part of the sentence. Let's read the sentence again. He, the boy in the photograph, is the son of, since we have already solved the last part, which is Suresh, then that means the boy in the photograph is the son of Suresh, which means Suresh is the father. This can be also seen through the family chart that has been drawn to make it clearer. So this is a classic example of an analytical reasoning question. Now that you've had a taste of what AR questions are like, let's move on to what is critical reasoning and what are critical reasoning questions, right? The first aspect of critical reasoning questions, which is completely opposite to that of analytical reasoning questions, is that critical reasoning is kind of subjective. So critical reasoning basically entails a passage, and based on a set of facts that you are given, you need to either draw an inference, figure out an assumption, or reach a conclusion, things like this. So basically there is an aspect of your opinion which comes into these questions, and therefore there are gray areas in critical reasoning, which is what makes it a little bit more difficult than analytical reasoning, yes, but also more interesting. And why is it more interesting? It's because it requires deep analysis. It requires you to break down a passage's premise, or the core idea around which a passage is centered. And this is actually really important and helpful, because this is the most important tool for a future lawyer, is to make or break arguments. And therefore critical reasoning, although a little bit challenging, is a very, very interesting section. Now there has been a shift ever since CLAT has changed the syllabus to more critical reasoning based questions. In fact, the sample papers of CLAT and CLAT 2020 was almost entirely critical reasoning, and we could not spot analytical reasoning questions there. But what does that say about analytical reasoning? Is it no more important? That's not true, because analytical reasoning still forms an important part of other law entrance examination papers in the logical reasoning sections, so it is not wise to leave it out. And since it is simple and requires a few tips and tricks to solve, you should always practice analytical reasoning side by side with critical as well. So now let's look at an example of a CR question to understand. This passage is an example. In the CLAT paper, the passages are slightly longer in length, but we'll be taking a shorter passage right now for the sake of understanding. So the passage says that Rahul Dravid, the erstwhile coach of India's under-19 cricket team, had explained a selection strategy which said that more than winning, it's more important to judge that more players be able to play in first-class cricket, and therefore he has made a conscious decision to not select players from the previous World Cup to the 2018 Under-19 World Cup squad. This is what the passage revolves around, and the question states, which one of the following statements can be concluded from the passage? The answer options are A. Selecting an inexperienced team at the under-19 level ensures success. B. Playing a sport is more important than winning or losing. C. The under-19 World Cup is a stepping stone to first-class cricket, and winning it should not be the end goal. Or D. Players who experience failure learn to be humble. So, in order to find the conclusion of a passage, we need to look at whatever has been stated in the passage already. A conclusion can only be drawn from the facts stated in the passage and not from information outside the passage or any other kind of information which is not mentioned. So the answer to the question, as we can see, will definitely be answer option C, that the Under-19 World Cup is a stepping stone to first-class cricket and winning it should not be the end goal. Why is that the answer? That's because the passage itself, if we go back and see, states, Rahul Dravid's statement states that he explained that more than winning, which is not the right touchstone of a success of a program at this level, what matters is how many players are able to move to the next level, that is playing first-class cricket. And then it is also to be noted that answer option B can be considered to be a close option because it says playing a sport is more important than winning or losing. However, it is not the right answer or the best answer in this scenario because it can be inferred, but it is quite broad and it is not context specific. The context of this passage is the Under-19 World Cup and not sports in general, and especially the Cricket World Cup, and that's why the answer C is the closer and the better option. And it is clearly understandable that answer options A and D are nowhere to be found amongst the facts of the passages or even indicated from what has been stated in the passage, which is why they cannot serve as the conclusion, and that's why answer C is the correct answer. So again, this gives a taste of what critical reasoning questions in the logic section looks like. So now let's move on to the exact syllabus for the logic section, both in analytical and critical reasoning. In analytical reasoning, the topics that will be covered will be logical series, coding, decoding, blood relations, direction sense, puzzles, seating arrangements, calendars and clocks, input-output and syllogisms. In the critical reasoning section, the topics that will be covered will be fact, judgment, inference, statement, assumption, statement, conclusion, course of action, cause and effect, strong and weak arguments, degree of truth, and CR passages. Each video hereinafter will deal with all of these topics specifically and explain the tips and tricks to solving them. Finally, to conclude, some reference materials that can be used when you are studying the logical reasoning portion is for the analytical section. You can refer to R.S. Agarwal's A Modern Approach to Nonverbal Reasoning. For the critical reasoning section, it is more appropriate to now look at the GMAT materials, especially the GMAT official guide or any other preparatory material, and also LSAT materials are also nice. And at the end of the day, if you are running out of passages to practice from, always remember the best place to read passages and to practice is the op-ed section of a newspaper, and of course blogs on the internet which talk about various topics. It's very important to be well read and to read from different sources and amongst a host of topics, and that way it will really help you hone your critical reasoning skills. So stay tuned for the next few videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, that's it. Bye bye.